What's up, guys? It's Ty here, and today I have the Week 7 recap here for the college football season. And I know I've been uploading in like 3-4 days, guys. I'm terribly sorry. Been really busy, and I hope you guys understand. I had 4 tests on Friday. So, and then this weekend I just kind of had stuff going on, working on school projects, and I just couldn't find time to really make a video. So I really hope you guys do understand. I'm sorry for the absence, but I'm back. So, let's get this Week 7 kicked off. And there's actually a game today because it was postponed because there was flooding yesterday. So, Akron ended up defeating Western Michigan at Western Michigan 14-13. Wouldn't honestly expect that. I think Western Michigan's a really good team in the MAC. But Akron 3-0 in the MAC. It's pretty surprising, honestly. So, me being a Toledo fan, that's kind of like, I'm not too worried because Toledo's going to beat them. Just saying. So, there was a game Wednesday, actually, which is really weird. South Alabama traveled to Troy and beat them 19-8. 19-8. That's a weird score. But Troy, this is the same Troy team that beat LSU at LSU. And then Troy at home just falls to the 2-4 South Alabama, whatever their name is. But no one really had a crazy game. No big rushing from South Alabama. But yeah, bad loss for Troy. Louisiana here beat Texas State 24-7. Pretty standard win right there. Georgia Tech, Miami postponed, but I'm pretty sure that was made up. Sorry, I'm out of breath, guys. I have no idea why. But, guys, this was the craziest, or one of the craziest upset weekends in recent history. Crazy. And it was because Friday. Oh my gosh. You just see, all you have to do is look. Syracuse beat the number 2 ranked Clemson Tigers. Kelly Bryant was knocked out, literally knocked out at the end of the second quarter. And Zarek Cooper stepped in. He could not lead the Tigers to victory. And Eric Dungey, man, 20 for 32, 278 yards and 3 touchdowns. He looked amazing. So did Zeke Ishmael, I'm pretty sure it is, the great receiver from the Orange. But a big upset, and that was just the start for this weekend. As the game later on in the night, really it started at 11 o'clock Eastern, so not a lot of people watched that. But California, the Cal Golden Bears beat the number 8 ranked Washington State Cougars 37-3. This wasn't a 3-point game like Syracuse Clemson. No, 37-3. Utter domination. Luke Falk had 5 interceptions. Cal Golden Bears looking like the freaking Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm just saying. What? And that's those 2 upsets right there. 2 top 10 upsets, but there was more to come. This is a crazy weekend. This is my craziest weekend I remember in my life, really, because I really didn't watch college football much in 2007. So, yeah. Ohio State, number 9 ranked. They absolutely murdered Nebraska. I'm sorry, Tanner. I told you Nebraska was going to lose to Ohio State. Just kind of a blowout, really. J.D. Spielman, don't know who that is, but 200 yards at 111 receptions, a touchdown. Great game from him. But J.T. Barrett, I'm starting to like him now. He's starting to make me like him. 27 for 33, 325 yards, and 5 touchdowns. An amazing game from him. Ohio State really starting to click on offense. Next game, Penn State. Mwahaha. Toledo beat Central Michigan in Central Michigan 30-10. Pretty standard victory for the Rockets. Terry Swanson, 23 carries for 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Miss Cody Tompkins, but hey, if we're still going to get the win against our MAC opponents, that's all that matters. Alabama doing what Alabama does, winning 41-9. Will anyone beat Alabama? I don't think so, honestly. Damian Harris, 9 carries, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Alabama is just looking so good. Georgia beat Missouri, 1-5 Missouri, 53-28. This game was actually 21-21 at one point, but then Georgia decided to just take over as they do. Jake Fromm had a great game, 18 for 26, 326 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, Georgia moves to 7-0. And then here, I watched this game at night too, guys. This is another one of the big upsets. Arizona State in Tempe, Arizona beat the number 5 ranked Washington Huskies. Manny Wilkins was the quarterback for the Sun Devils, and man, the fourth down bull play. Like, he threw it. He didn't even throw it to the receiver he wanted, but the guy ended up catching it anyway. And, man, Arizona State, Washington has, like, their kicker missed 2 easy chip shot field goals. And it's just insane, guys. Like, I cannot believe I got to watch that game. That was great. Also, I'm looking over here. Miami now has the best chance to win the ACC. That's a lie. I still think Clemson will win the ACC, but that's just me. TCU keeps on rolling against Kansas State. I thought this game would be an upset, but I was wrong. 26-6, TCU winning pretty handily. Wisconsin wins a close one here against Purdue. I mean, Purdue did not get in the end zone at all. Jonathan Taylor, the freshman here, keeping his good freshman campaign up. 30 carries, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's looking like a beast. And then here is the fourth. There were 4 top 10 teams to be upset this week in college football, and Auburn rounds that off as LSU beat the Tigers, or the Tigers beat the Tigers 27-23. Auburn was up 20-0 at one point, but LSU had the willpower. They came back, and they won the game. Miami beat Georgia Tech on a last-second field goal, 25-24. I kind of wanted to see Georgia Tech is going to be an upset team this year. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Watch out for them Yellow Jackets. Malik Rozier, 23 for 37, a touchdown and 297 yards. Travis Homer had himself a bunch of rushing yards and a touchdown. Nice to see that. Oklahoma won the Red River rivalry here, 29-24 against Texas. Texas had the ball on the last possession, but the Sooners ended up stopping them. Baker Mayfield, 17 for 27, 302 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sam Ehlinger, who is actually the quarterback, 22 carries, 110 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, Oklahoma holds on, and they avenged their loss last week against Iowa State. I still think that's hilarious. So, USC ended up coming back to beat Utah. Utah was up 21-7 at one point, but Sam Darnold brought the Trojans back. He has 27 for 50, 358 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Utah, they scored. They tried a 2-point conversion with 42 seconds left, and they failed. And yeah, they lost by 1, but that was a great game nonetheless. Oklahoma State keeps the Baylor Bears winless. Mason Rudolph, oh my God, 19 for 31, 459 yards and 3 touchdowns. James Washington, 6 receptions, 235 yards and a touchdown. 6 receptions. He did that on 6. He averaged like 59 yards per catch. That's pretty good. Michigan ended up beating Indiana away 27-20 in overtime. I watched that game. Kerryon Higdon, 25 carries, 200 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he was looking like a beast. I wanted Indiana to win, but hey, I still don't like Michigan. But whatever. It's fine. Indiana, you can't trust Indiana. You really just can't. South Florida wins again. South Florida sucks. Put them in a decent conference, they'll lose. Quentin Flowers, he sucks. South Florida stays undefeated. But here's another team that does not stay undefeated. Remember, there was 13 undefeated teams coming into this week. There's only 6 now, guys. That's absolutely crazy. And San Diego State is no longer one of them, as Boise State traveled to San Diego State, and they beat them 31-14. Fred Trevion, 2 receptions, 120 yards, and a touchdown. But yeah, Boise State are now 2-0 in the Mountain West. They are 4-2. NC State beat Pitt 35-17. Pitt was up, but you know it's Pitt. I mean, just saying. NC State keeps up their great season, 6-1, 4-0 in the ACC. Nakeem Hines, 16 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown. Michigan State beat Minnesota close here, 32-27. Minnesota had a late surge in the fourth quarter, but it was held by the ranked Spartans. L.J. Scott, 25 carries, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Johnson for Minnesota had 8 receptions, 106 yards, and 3 touchdowns. What a great game from him. But this was just a great game overall. Central Florida here ends up beating Eastern Carolina 63-21. I mean, just a standard win for them, honestly. Kind of like the same as South Florida, but I just don't like South Florida as much. These guys need to be in like some real conference, just saying. Stanford kills the Ducks 49-7. Did not expect that. Bryce Love keeping up his Heisman season, 17 carries, 147 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Stanford, after losing 2 early, I think they've won 4 in a row. They're really making a surge back into this top 25. Another top 25 opponents go down here, but these are kind of like you could tell this could happen. West Virginia ended up beating Texas Tech 46-35. Will Grier, 32 for 41, 352 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I predicted West Virginia to win, and West Virginia is not a bad team. It's just that I think they're probably going to be ranked after this. Haven't even checked. But Texas Tech, I didn't think they should have been ranked anyway. But hey, that kind of solidifies that. And then Navy, they lose. They were undefeated. They lose their first game on the year. They lose 32-27 to a pretty good Memphis team who's now 5-1. It's probably pretty close to being ranked as well. Zach Abey from Navy had 3 touchdowns, 146 yards. Riley Ferguson was 24 for 40, 279 yards, and 3 touchdowns. All right, that's all the top 25. Now on to the other games that no one cares about. No, I'm just joking. You guys are fans of these teams. Like Connecticut beat Temple. Didn't actually expect that, but it happens. Army now 5-2. They won 28-27 against Eastern Michigan. Held off a late surge right there. Ahmad Bradshaw, the fake one, 19 carries, 171 yards, and a touchdown. Mississippi State finally got back on track. They beat BYU, who is having a terrible season. They won 35-10. South Carolina beat Tennessee 15-9. South Carolina sneakily 5-2 on the season. Just saying. There was South Carolina. They stopped the last-second play against Tennessee. So Tennessee almost won that game. I did watch that part, but they made a good play. Iowa State taking that momentum from the Oklahoma game, beating Kansas 45-0, throwing up a goose egg. David Montgomery, 68 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground on 21 rushes. Pretty good from him. Hey, Rutgers won. They beat Illinois. The toilet bowl here, Rutgers and Illinois. 35-24. Rutgers win that game. Nothing too crazy about that. Florida State wins they win their second game of the season as they beat Duke close 17-10, and Duke has lost 3 in a row. That's sad, man. I'm sorry. Boston College beat Louisville here in an upset game. Here is at Louisville as well, but A.J. Dillon had other plans. 39 carries, 272 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Boston College. Boston College gets another win. They get their first ACC win as Louisville drops to 1-3 in the conference. Their season is definitely over. Air Force beat UNLV 34-30. Arion Worthman, 166 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. The man's a beast, and Air Force should be better than 2-4 in my opinion. They're actually a decent team. Marshall beat Old Dominion 35-3. Nothing too crazy there. Ole Miss beat Vanderbilt, surprisingly. Vanderbilt's now 0-4 in the SEC. Wah-wah. 57-35. What a game. Shea Patterson, 4 touchdowns. A.J. Brown, 8 receptions, 174 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Wow. Virginia is sneakily 5-1. I get to actually watch Virginia Pitt coming up here. That's going to be a good game, actually. I'm surprised Virginia is actually 5-1. They're playing pretty good. They beat the 1-6 North Carolina. The Mitchell Trubisky-less North Carolina Tar Heels, they are just not that good, just being honest. 20-14. Northwestern beat Maryland 37-21. Justin Jackson, 171 yards, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore, 210 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Great game from him. Kent State beat Miami of Ohio 17-14. Northern Illinois beat Buffalo 14-13. Ohio moving to 5-2 on the year. Won 48-30 against Bowling Green. Andrew Clare, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game from him. Tulsa actually surprisingly beat Houston 45-17. A late surge at the end of the game. They scored 38 points in the second half. Just a great game from Tulsa. Colorado beats Oregon State in a close one, 36-33. Charlotte 0-7. Wah. Western Kentucky beat them 45-14. Wyoming beat Utah State 28-23. Josh Allen was 18 for 26, 208 yards, and 1 touchdown. We haven't heard much about Josh Allen in a little bit, so I guess it's nice to hear that. Appalachian State beat Idaho 23-20. Georgia State beat Louisiana Monroe 47-37. Penny Hart, 190 yards and 3 touchdowns in the air. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. New Mexico State beat Georgia Southern, who's 0-5, 35-27. UAB beat Middle Tennessee 25-23. North Texas beat UTSA 29-26. Southern Mississippi threw up a goose egg against the 0-7 UTEP. UTEP's not that good. Dang it, Tulane. Oh, the Tulane changed their logo. I don't like that logo. I like the other Tulane logo. 23-10 here. Tulane lost against Florida International, who moves to 4-2. Texas A&M beat Florida, surprisingly, actually. Kellen Mond, 8 for 24. Geez, not a good game from both teams. But Texas A&M moves to 5-2 on the year as Florida loses their second in a row, I do believe. Yeah, they lost to LSU last week. Florida is not looking good. Arkansas State beat Coastal Carolina 51-17. Arizona beat UCLA 47-30. Khalil Tate keeping up another great rushing day. 15 carries, 230 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's really bursting onto the scene. Fresno State threw up a goose egg against New Mexico 38-0. Boy. Colorado State 3-0 in the Mountain West, 44-42 victory. Holy crap, 13 receptions, 63 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Michael Gallup. And Hawaii beat San Jose State 37-26. All right, that is all the Week 7 matchups. Let's check out the rankings. Haven't even looked at them this week, so let's find out after this crazy week of pandemonium. Alabama stays at the top, obviously. Penn State moves up to 2. Georgia moves up to 3. TCU moves up to 4. Wisconsin to 5. The Ohio State University moves up to 6th. Clemson, they drop 5 after losing to Syracuse. They are now 7th. Miami moves up 3. They're 8th. Oklahoma 9. Oklahoma State 10. USC 11. So Oklahoma State jumped USC. That's pretty nice. So Washington only moves down 7 after losing to Arizona State. All right, fair play. Notre Dame moves up 3. They're now 13th. Virginia Tech moves up 1. They're 14th. Washington State also moves down 7 after losing to Cal. They are 15th. NC State moves up 4. They're 16th. South Florida 17. Michigan State 18. They dropped Michigan 2 to 19. Woot. We like that. UCF is up to 20. Auburn drops 11. They are now 21st. Stanford only moves up 1. They probably should have moved up more. They are now 22nd. And then we have some new ranked teams as West Virginia is now ranked at 23. LSU back in the rankings at 24. And then Memphis, first ranked of the year, they are now 25th. Obviously, these teams dropped from the rankings, and other teams receiving votes like San Diego State. Texas A&M getting some votes now. Iowa State's really getting some votes. Is Toledo getting any votes? Nope. Virginia's getting votes, actually, but no Toledo. Wah, wah. So, guys, if you guys wanted to enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube. If you haven't already, this is Tyler signing off saying, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Have a good one. Later.